Call the meeting to order. Moved by Councillor Ruff, seconded by Councillor Kotick. Resolved that the regular meeting commence at the hour of 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that council acknowledges that we are meeting in the Robinson Spirit Treaty area on lands that have been traditionally used by several Indigenous nations. But we would like to pay special recognition to our closest Indigenous neighbors, the community of Bigdagon Nishnabek and Netmiza-Gamek Nishnabek First Nations. We wish to recognize the long history of the First Nations and Métis people in our region specifically and show respect to them today. All in favor? Carried. Okay, any additions to the agenda?
There is one addition to agenda item number 1502, section 239(2)C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, disposition of land.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Keogh. Resolved that the agenda be approved as amended. All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Being none. Approval of the agenda.
We just did that.
We just did that. Sorry. Delegations and presentations? None. Adoption of the minutes. Moved by Councillor Keogh, seconded by Councillor Ruff. Resolved that the minutes of the special council meeting held September 27, 2023 be adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Kotick. Resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting held September 27, 2023 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. No petitions, correspondence. Okay, moved by Councillor Ruff, seconded by Councillor Kotick. Resolved that the correspondence items 08-01 to 08-02 be received and filed. All in favor? Carried. Page 2, reports and committees. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Keogh. Resolved that minutes of the meetings of the Thunder Bay District Social Services Administration Board held June 15, 2023 be accepted as received. All in favor? Carried. Okay, now that we are in October, it's time to prepare for Old Man Winter. Okay, so this is just a reminder. Put away your patio furniture. Winterize your camper. Schedule to put your winter tires on. And get your shovels out, because ready or not, winter will be here soon. That's all I have to say.
Good advice. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Some updates for you, all coming from the Recreation Department, which has been very busy. Preparing for Halloween events later this month. And as well as preparing for the installation of ice at the arena, including training of staff and volunteers. And as we also wait for Old Man Winter to appear and the temperatures to cooperate in order to make the ice stick. Moonlight Madness event is coming up on Friday, November 17th, and the department is working very closely with our local businesses to make that a great event. And of course, the annual Christmas parade on December 16th, looking for volunteers to put floats together and participate in that event. So thank you, Trish, and everyone in the Recreation Department for all your hard work.
Thank you. Okay, on to business. Moved by Counselor Hudson, seconded by Counselor Ruff, resolved that council is in receipt of administration report Air 2023-02 submitted by Marcel Demars, Airport Manager regarding air movement reports. Mr. Demars.
Good evening. Through the chair. As per admin report, the IR 2023-02, staff provided council an overview of the Manitowoc Airport air movement for the past 5 months. Just to give council an idea of what's going on at the airport, and obviously it could be at time and other times not so busy, but looks the airport is going very good. So, any question on the report?
Any questions?
Just one through the chair. I noticed that like on the right side of the graph, there were certain sections that were blacked out. Is that because they were confidential or?
Yeah, that's because of what the companies are paying for fuel and what they pay for landing. That didn't want to make that public.
I did see that some of them were blacked out, so I was a little like,
Yeah,
yeah, some are confidential, some aren't. Okay, that makes, thank you.
Thank you. I was, yeah, just a comment that looking at those numbers, the airport is actually busier than people actually think it is. So that's good to see those numbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and further that council received the airport manager's report, airport managers, airport movement reports as presented. That was different. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next. Moved by Counselor Kotick, seconded by Counselor Keel, resolved that council is in receipt of administration report FD 2023-05 submitted by Don Kruger, Fire Chief, regarding repeal bylaw 2020-23 dispatch agreement with the Central Ambulance Communications Center and replace with the new agreement with Northern 911 for fire department dispatch.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I just basically need to answer any questions that you might have. My intent is to move forward with the changing of the dispatching from CAC to Northern 911. I have not been happy with the service we get from CAC since I got here. They are not a fire dispatch, they are a ambulance dispatch. And I think Northern 911 will be better and safer for the firefighters. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Good chair. So when someone calls 911, they will get any of those services,
Yes.
even if we switch to this other company?
Yes, so when someone calls 911, it goes to an actual 911 operator. And then when they ask you, do you want police, fire, or ambulance? So in this case, you say fire, then they just switch it to CAC.
Okay.
So moving forward, they would just send it to Northern 911. We do have the option of making Northern 911 our 911 dispatcher as well. But at this time, I'm going to leave our 911 service as is.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Through the chair, just more of a comment about the current service provider. I definitely understand the need for change. You know, when the 3/4 of an hour goes by with a building on fire and no response, and you know, potentially somebody could have been in there disabled or whatnot, that's very unacceptable.
And the angering part about it was the fact that nobody would take responsibility for it. It was just everybody passing the buck as to whose fault it was. When we know that the lines work, we know that the system worked. I tested them myself. It was pretty clear where the fault lay, but nobody would take responsibility for it. So, yes.
Any other questions? Okay, myself, just I have a question about if someone calls and you say the 911 operator asks if you want fire, ambulance, or police. If it's a vehicle accident. Now, when the caller tells the dispatcher, is the dispatcher then going to know to contact both Northern 911 and CAC
Yes.
for the ambulance and the
Yes.
fire?
Yeah.
So is that going to cause any delays to your thinking
No.
or no?
No, it will not cause any delays. It's actually law that they're simultaneously dispatched, so it won't make any difference in that regard whatsoever.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, other than the little rise in the cost, I mean, you cannot put a value on a life, so for that little bit of increase, I see no issues. Awesome, thank you very much.
Sorry, I would like to make one
Oh.
comment.
Go ahead.
Through the chair, it is going to be amazing having the text message service as well, because our app does not work properly.
Yes, and we actually, so just referencing the increase in cost. With the text services being provided through Northern 911 as well, in theory, we can get rid of the app. And save the money that we're paying on that as well, so there will be some trade-off in that regard.
Thank you. Did you have another question?
That's fine, if I may, through the chair. So Northern 911, is that like specifically for fire calls, or is it? Yes, okay.
Yes, so Northern 911 is a strictly a fire dispatching company. I do not know the number. I can certainly get it for you if you're really interested. But they dispatch a couple of dozen different fire departments in Northern Ontario.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, I do have one more question. Through the chair, in your report, it says that you won't need a dispatcher anymore at the department because we can communicate directly with them. Are we going to keep our dispatchers?
So yes, we will still keep our dispatcher. The two-way communication, part of the plan that will be negotiated, they will give us certain amount of two-way communication. So it'll be up to us as to how much we want to pay for and how much we will get. So certainly, so for example, if we have, say, a structured fire, I would say, yeah, no, we're gonna have it for the duration of the call. If we have something a little bit less severe, then they would just dispatch us and then we would continue with our own dispatcher the way we have been currently.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, one other question. Have you spoken with any other communities that use Northern 911 to see
Yeah.
if they have they had any issues over the last certain?
Nothing of significance. I mean, there's always little hiccups here or there. Every fire department's had some issues, but for the most part, everybody's quite happy.
Okay.
And the Northern 911 also provides testimonials and that sort of thing as well. So
And they're based out of?
they're actually based out of Sudbury.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Awesome, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and further that council repeals bylaw 2020-23 being a dispatch agreement with the Central Ambulance Communication Center, CAC, and approves a new agreement with the Northern 911. And further that council directs the fire chief to negotiate a new agreement with Northern 911 for dispatch services. And further that council authorizes the chief administrative officer to sign a new agreement with Northern 911 following the successful negotiation of the agreement. All in favor? Carried. Okay. You. Moved by Councillor Ruff, seconded by Councillor Kotick. Resolved that council is in receipt of administration report CS 2023-03 submitted by Trish Boileau, Director of Community Services regarding the Oasis Pool. Yeah.
Thank you. Well done. So through the chair, as requested by council, a few weeks ago, we had GBT Engineering give us a cost estimate for remediating the pool, essentially shutting down the pool permanently, so we can compare cost of repair versus cost of closing, so that information is in the report. So ready to field your questions. Through the chair. So I was looking at for the pool liner under capital costs, it says $50,000.
Now, is that for repair versus replace if there is issues with the seam? Is that what that's about?
Yeah, that's right. Total replacement would be closer to, well, over 100,000.
the exact numbers, but we think that, yeah, that's what I thought when they did it. Votes.
And the kiddie pool liner, something $5,000 cost, what exactly is that for?
That liner is floating as well, and I believe that just needs some repair and such.
And, I can't remember.
Can't help you there.
No. Facility-wide HVAC renewal and glycol conversion. I don't know, if you can maybe answer that, or, because it said it's something to do with the whole building. But they might have to do that with another part of renovation.
So when we met with TBT Engineering last week, we did talk about the boiler system upgrade and how that upgrade would benefit the repair to the pool in terms of energy efficiency and as well as just having a better operating system for the needs of the entire building.
So that's the HVAC that they're talking about, and then we're.
No, the HVAC is specific to the. And sorry, the HVAC upgrade is specific to the arena. If there's an HVAC upgrade in the pool, it's a separate project from the. Okay, that's what I was.
Any other questions?
I suppose to the chair, I'll try to have this as a question. How long would it take for us to get like a contractor in that roughly to do these repairs? That's kind of important to the overall project is timeline. The longer it takes, the worse the condition will be. Might be a hard question.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess difficult to answer that at this stage.
That's what I think about in terms of this. If it's like 2 years, we get a contractor, the pool will, the condition will worsen in 2 years, 100%. That's one of the things I have difficulties with. Is that it's difficult for us as a remote community to get quick repairs of these things, right? Plus, we have to wait, if we do apply for the NOHCF grant, there's no telling how long it'll take to go through the process there, get approved, things like that. That kind of.
Through you, Mr. Chair, just so that you know, if council did support the grant application, then confirm their commitment to the funding of the township's portion of the project. The grant application could be submitted fairly quickly. It's a 2-stage process. And the costs become eligible as soon as the first stage is submitted. So what could happen is that we include the pool repair with the overall recreation center upgrade project. And then that would be contracted out in the new year for the contractor to do the full scope of work at the recreation center, which would include.
I guess my follow-up would be, would NOHCF be okay if we were to suddenly change there and include that as part of the project? And to include the pool as part of that? That might be a.
They don't really weigh in on the scope of the project. What they look at is the township spending the funds that they approved on the projects that we said we were going to do. So if there was an additional project to them for the pool, then that would be a separate administration on both sides. So we wouldn't be submitting the pool expenses to the recreation center project. We would keep that separate in terms of the administration of the project.
Would they become one like loan then or grant, I suppose, or would it just be 2 separate grants?
Yeah, it would be lumped in with the overall recreation center upgrades in terms of tendering the project and awarding the contract.
Any questions?
Yes, through the chair. So a lot of this is actually inside the building. So it can be done if contractor can be gotten quickly. It can be started before summer. Exactly, like electrical pumps, all that kind of stuff. They would just have to wait on winter to go away so that it can do the stuff outside. So that is a possibility that we could That's what I thought, because a lot of that's obviously inside. too.
Yes.
Okay. And it would be nice if we could have it. Hopefully, the next summer.
Mhm. Any other questions? My thoughts on this is, I think it would be great to get the pool back up and running, especially with the announcements of Marathon having to shut their pool down, which would be helpful for people to commute here if they want to use a pool. So that's my thoughts, and any way we can bring more people into Manitowoc to enjoy what we have. That's what it's all about.
You bet.
All right, anything else? Okay. And further, that council direct staff to apply for funding through the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation for the required pool repairs as outlined in the condition of assessment provided by TBT Engineering. And further, that council commits the required 25% contribution for recreation reserve from recreation reserve funds towards the cost of the pool repairs, approximately $60,000 upon grant approval. All in favor? Okay, carried. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Next. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Hudson, resolved that the 2024 Rural Ontario Municipal Association, ROMA, Annual General Meeting and Conference is scheduled to be held on January 21st to January 23rd, 2024 in Toronto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So registrations have opened up for Roma as well as hotel room bookings. And this is an opportunity for Manitowoc to represent themselves at the Roma conference as well as put forward delegation requests to various ministers. But first off, council needs to determine who will be attending.
Okay, now normally it's automatic that the mayor and CAO attend and one councillor,
That's correct.
correct? I guess who is interested in going?
Okay, I would like to go.
Like to go? Any other requests? Okay, well, that was simple. So that would be myself, Councillor Ruff, and CAO. Perfect. And be it further resolved that the following council and or staff members will attend. Mayor Jim Moffat, Councillor Tony Lynn Ruff, and CAO. All in favor? Carried. Next. Moved by Councillor Ruff, seconded by Councillor Keo, resolved that council is in receipt of correspondence from Minister Paul Calandra, Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing regarding the Ontario Housing Affordability Task Force recommendations for response. Top 5 responses. Okay, that's what we discussed last week and brought down from the correspondence. I do have my numbers here from the list, but I didn't write them down. We have access to the list. Other people brought their recommendations, yeah.
Assuming I had the right list, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So were you reading?
I was reading,
Did you get it from
it was an
the
email,
report?
there was 74 options.
And did it list the options
Yes.
separately?
Yes, it did.
I've only ever seen the report that I had attached to the agenda. Let me see here.
There's a document attached to the agenda. Oh. It's in the letter, from Minister Klein. And then
Yeah, it takes you to the report.
there's a link to the report, and then the recommendations
Yeah.
are.
That's what it looks like. Attach a list of 74 housing affordability task force recommendations for reference. What I did is in my search, I put in the number 74 and it came up to this. So. Is that what you went by, Councilor Cottle?
Was the like 31 in the list here? Is they, in the document, there's like a list of 1, 2, 3, 4. They're here, where like 1 is set a goal of building 1.5 million new homes in 10 years. 2 is.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the
Correct.
ones on the list.
Yeah. So I was at,
And where did that?
oh. I'm sorry, that's what I went by.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I totally missed that. That's not what I was just kind of reading things and going.
Oh, okay, because out of the
Yeah.
74, we were to pick 5. Yeah, oh, you only see 31.
Flo, did you see?
No, there's
this as well?
74. Yes,
No, me neither. I
Oh.
didn't receive that and nor did I attach that to the agenda.
okay,
So I
well,
provided the actual report, the full report that
Yeah,
also
The one I-
okay,
yeah.
this is the email that it came in.
housing supply, I didn't receive.
You didn't receive that?
No.
Message from Minister. Paul
Did you
Kalanda?
want me, did you want to forward it to my email
Sure.
and I can open it for you to read?
Sure. Include- Thankful for technology.
I just didn't know. There is 74.
There is 74, so you only, okay,
Yeah.
it's, well, I've got the whole list.
The ones on the report are the same, but it's itemized in this one.
Yeah, and on the,
Separately.
it's the second attachment, the first one's in French, so. Okay, well, I picked 49, 65, 70, 72, and 73.
Which one, sorry?
49, 65, 70, 72, 73. I just found the ones further down were more in for smaller northern communities.
You want to see some good numbers. I went with 1, 2, 12, 22, and 30.
Okay, and
So I
you,
would have on the lower. end.
but you didn't see them all though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you repeat those again slower?
sorry, 49,
Yes.
65,
Mhm.
70,
Yes.
72,
Mhm.
73.
Okay.
And did you want to read the rest before you submitted your,
I mean, I like the ones I picked. So
You did?
Unless
Okay.
those ones are really good, if you think.
Well-
they're good.
I can read them out. 49 is funding for pilot projects that create innovative pathways to home ownership for Black, Indigenous, and marginalized people and first-generation homeowners. Okay, that was my pick for that. The next is 65. Develop and legislate a clear province-wide definition of affordable housing to create certainty and predictability. Okay. 70 is review surplus lands and accelerate the sale and development through RFP of surplus government land and surrounding land by provincially pre-zoning for density, affordable housing, and mixed and residential use. Okay, 72. Proposed fully upzone underdeveloped and underutilized crown property. That was a big one, because we have a lot of crown property in this area. 73 is sell crown land and reoccupy as a tenant in a higher density building or relocate services outside of major populated centers where a land is considerably less expensive, which is also for the north. So those,
65 and 72 for sure.
okay,
Are good.
Right,
Yeah, I
right,
didn't get
just
these
Going
ones.
by
No, I
Grace's numbers and your numbers. Got like 22.
okay. 22, I can read that one out. 22 says requiring municipalities to compensate property owners for loss of property value as a result of heritage designation.
That's
Oh, sorry, that's
22 simplifying the plan.
Sorry. I,
For planning administration.
what number, that again?
22.
Oh, you know what? This is weird. 22, it says 17 there, so. If I go there. You know what I mean?
Right, okay, so your numbers aren't currently reflected as. the
Right.
Actual.
Sorry, yes. Okay, so 22 is simplified planning legislation and policy documents. Okay. So let me double check my actual numbers because there's two sets of numbers here. So. 49 was the first one.
Reductions in funds. to municipalities with their maintenance of-
Okay, so sorry, scratch 49 and put 41. And then 65 is actually 55B2. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, 70. 70 is 55C1. They really got these C1. And then C3
Yeah, the number of
is
inside.
C4, yeah, right. So I went by the outside numbers when I named out my numbers.
But I think yours are in the report, and so
Inside the
they're,
report.
they're
Okay.
reflected
Yeah.
correctly.
Sorry, confusing documents that we might have to go through.
So yeah, I changed a couple of mine, the addition of new ones.
Okay.
So I had number 40 as my first pick. And that was call on the federal government to implement an urban, rural, and northern indigenous housing strategy. My second one was number 45, improve funding for colleges, trade schools, and apprenticeships, encourage and incentivize municipalities, unions, and employers to provide more on-the-job training. And my third one was provide provincial and federal loan guarantees for purpose-built rental, affordable rental, and affordable ownership projects. And then 4 and 5 changed to 72 and 73. which you already.
Okay.
It's after 45. What number?
45, 42.
I think we have more than enough.
Yes, so they're requesting
They're
the
requesting
top
5,
five.
yes. That council choose the following top 5 responses. So I'm wondering if these ones here, 55, can be maybe grouped together.
See how they're maybe depicted in the report.
They did group some of them together in the report.
Oh, they did, okay. So that 55 maybe can group together, to include all of them.
48 and 49 are grouped together. 45, 46, and 47 are grouped.
I think that they did that first, putting it in these specific sections that are within the report. But 55 is not, reads differently on here. It doesn't break it out. So we could go with 55 and put them all together.
Put them all together, okay, perfect. That groups a lot of
Yours.
subjects together, yeah, a lot of mine.
Clarify that, please.
Okay, so
So in the report, number 55 is commit to evaluate these recommendations for the next 3 years with public reporting on progress. But in the itemized list that not all of us received, it breaks it out into section 55B1, section 55B2, C1, et cetera, but they're all still under 55.
So what does that income?
All the ones that Mayor Moffett had requested
Oh,
as his top 5.
Most of mine seem to be on the same
oh, okay,
section.
so it's very.
Mhm.
There's 2 separate, yeah, okay. Still a little bit embarrassed that I didn't catch all of that.
Okay,
No, through the chair, Counselor Hudson, that was not on the agenda. We did not receive that administratively, so it looks like it was sent by email to some people, but not everybody received it, and we did not receive it to put it on the agenda, so it was not there for you to see.
Okay.
okay, it wasn't purposely not put there. for
No.
you to see neither. Okay, so now does that have to be, what's our deadline for that? The
Yes.
16th, okay, so. The 16th, that's in a few days.
Mhm.
Do you have it down to 5?
Well, Counselor Ruff had mentioned 5, and Counselor Hudson and Counselor Kotick, but it seems there has been agreement on number 55 and 22,
Okay.
correct? You
Mhm.
both had said number 22?
Yes. And Council Crossing.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 22, 55, 40. And now we need 2 more. That we should pick from. I like the idea of the Crown Land
That was on my
parts
list
in the
as well.
70s, yeah. I can't remember, 72,
72,
73.
73.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts on that. Everybody okay with that?
I agree with that.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
a minute to-
Not a problem.
Inside the report, it does not want that.
No, it does
Uh,
not.
Yeah, we're those 55.
Okay, so hang on.
Maybe if we can read
Oh.
them aloud again.
Yeah,
So what were my numbers again? 72, 73. Okay, so
But they were,
yeah, so that's,
55.
yeah, that's,
are they all lumped into?
yeah, so
55?
that's lumped into 55. Sorry, my, yeah, okay. So they don't apply then 72, 73.
yeah, there's nothing inside of it.
Yeah, because the list I got here has 75 on the outside. But the inside is actually
55.
55 with the ABC thing. Okay, so. We definitely have,
Through the chair, I think we should look at 45 again, improving funding for colleges and trade schools.
I like
We
that,
can't build houses if we don't have people to build them.
true. I like that. You're putting- Yeah,
I can agree with
okay,
that, sure.
yeah. One more.
One more. Did you want?
No, I have my list.
What other numbers did you have?
I had 42. So that was provide provincial and federal loan guarantees for purpose-built rental, affordable rental and affordable ownership projects. Because with our market, nobody can afford to build a house, so, or buy a house, so rental is going to be very important. That's my thoughts.
Mhm.
I agree.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
No objections?
no objections, you're okay. Okay, there we go,
Okay, so what I will do is
Yeah.
just list them by number.
perfect. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so our top 5 responses, and further that council chooses the following top 5 responses, which are items number 22, 40, 42, 45, and 55, as per the list of task force. Sorry. List of task force recommendations for record. And further that council directs staff to provide the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housings with the top 5 responses chosen by council for the township of Manitowoc. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Next. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Kotick, resolved that the regular council meeting scheduled for October 25th, 2023 be cancelled. And that would be due to the lack of quorum. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Ruff, whereas October 15th to 21st, 2023 is Local Government Week in Ontario, an opportunity to reflect on the vital services delivered by municipal governments. And whereas municipal governments play a vital role in helping to define the character, priorities, physical makeup, and quality of life of communities across Ontario. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Jim Moffat, on behalf of the Corporation of the Township of Manitowoc, do hereby join with partners such as the Association of Municipal Managers, Clerks and Treasurers of Ontario, AMCTO, in acknowledging and celebrating the work of local municipalities by proclaiming October 15th to 21st, 2023 as Local Government Week in Manitowoc. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Moved by Councillor Keel, second by Councillor Kotick. Whereas Small Business Week is a national event to pay tribute to the contributions that small businesses make to the Canadian economy. And whereas we honor entrepreneurs to take a risk on an idea, choose to invest in our communities, and create jobs for others. And whereas with over 430,000 small businesses operating within the province of Ontario, small business is a vital contributor to the economic health and social well-being of our communities. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Jim Moffat of the Corporation of the Township of Manitowoc, do hereby proclaim October 15th to October 21st, 2023 as Small Business Week in the Township of Manitowoc. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Ruff, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Being a bylaw to repeal bylaw 2020-23, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement with Her Majesty the Queen in Right of Ontario, as represented by the Minister of Health and Long-Term Care for call taking and alerting services to the township's fire department by the Thunder Bay Central Ambulance Communication Center. CAC be read a first and second time. And furthermore, be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2023-51. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay, next. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Keel, whereas section 239-4 of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C25 provides that before holding a meeting or part of a meeting that is to be closed to the public, the municipality or local board or committee of either of them shall state by resolution the fact of holding of the closed meeting and the general nature of the matter to be considered at the closed meeting. Now therefore be it resolved that this meeting is hereby closed to the public as the subject matter being discussed falls under the following section. 1, section 239 2B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal and local board employees. Divisional court update. Section 239 2C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, disposition of land. All in favor? Carried.